So in the video today, we're going to be tackling a pretty unique project. We're going to be making trophies or duplicating some trophies that are going to be used in a local car show. The only problem is they were sculpted from clay and cast in bronze. What are some of the challenges that we're going to need to overcome with this project? Well, the first one is clearly we're going to need to 3D scan this to put it inside of our CAM software. And then they've asked for it to weigh approximately the same, but we're going to be machining it out of aluminum, and this is bronze. So we'll need to add some kind of base at the bottom, calculate the weight of this thing, and try to make that base kind of add up to this weight here in aluminum. And then I only have 16 inches of y-axis travel on the 5-axis, so we're going to have to turn that trunnion 90 degrees so that I can use the x-axis to machine along his body. So now what we're going to do is we're going to figure out how we're going to machine it. We're going to design a base. We need to be able to hold it in the machine, and I think I got an idea for that. Here's what I'm kind of envisioning here. I really don't want to hold him in the vise, right? I've had to turn the trunnion 90 degrees because there's no way I could machine it in Y. He's going to have to be machined in X because I got 40 inches here of X. And so this machine is not real rigid with this huge trunnion in here. So what I'm planning on doing is trying to make up for some of that rigidity by not holding him in a vise, but making him where he anchors directly down to this 5-axis platter. And then you can rotate over and never rotate up, you see, because he'll break everything if he rotates up. So I'm going to have to do some code editing so he doesn't rotate up. And then we're just going to rotate him like this and tip him up and down. And that way we can get, up his nose and around this scarf. I hope. Okay, so we're back into Fusion 360 and we know how we're going to hold it. And basically what we did, just imported in the fixture from 5axis.com, went to 5axis. I don't know if that's their website, but I went there, downloaded their fixture, the dovetail fixture, and then I just de-featured that 3D model and came up with this base, right? Now I've got this base and I've got the hole pattern on the bottom. And now you might be thinking, well, that's a 3D model here. This is a parametric model here on the bottom. And then on the top, you've got a mesh. You got two different things going on. Yeah, but here's what I'm thinking. That if I never cut it apart, it'll stay one piece in real life. And so that's what I'm thinking. So now I've modeled this base. Let's see, and I've modeled the stock. So really the first operation would be us cutting the bottom here. Let's go ahead and start machining the bottom of this. We just need to cut this material around. And then once that's done, we need to make sure that when we put this in the machine, we don't mess up, because see, that's not even, right? It's not even. Oh, we're going to tackle that. Okay, so now we're in the manufacturing workspace inside of Fusion. What we did is we just made, we set up the Z phase, we oriented the part, we have the model selected. What is selected here? Well, if you pull down over here, you're going to see it's highlighted the stock. This stock is really for the 5-axis operation. It's not for the 3-axis operation or 2.5-axis operation over here. 2.5D. So we selected the stock, right? And then we're going to probe them because we're gonna make 3 of them. We just need 2 good ones. We're gonna have 3 good ones. I really hope so. And we kind of rough this. We horizontal. I use that 1/4-inch tool to go in and bore out all of those things. Then we thread them, and then I just deburr the outside, make sure it's nice and clean. We're gonna lay a piece of felt on the bottom of this guy, you know, and then he sits down. He's gonna be a nice, proper trophy. Maybe you'll win one. Home position. I'm gonna steal it for a minute. Those little pins. All right, so here we are. It's time to start putting this part into the machine. So what we did is we wrote a program, and it took a long time. So I've got a roughing up here, so he'll be at this orientation, kind of rough, you know. Gonna clean that edge up. Since I got this tool out and everything, you know, might as well get that edge nice and clean. Then he's gonna rough from here. He's gonna clean that up. He's gonna rough the back side, clean that up, and then he's gonna rough this side. Then he's gonna rough down into that little thing where it's gonna kind of break him away. So all that material really needed to be roughed before I got that, because that's gonna structurally make it a little weaker out here on his head. And then, yep, I'm gonna clean that up. And then we got a little roughing we're gonna do right in here. Just make it a little easier on the finish passes. So that's a 2-hour roughing cycle in this machine. The RPM and the torque are pretty low, and the processor's really, really slow. I can feed it about 40 inches a minute, simultaneous 5-axis. Not horrible, but not good. Okay, so then we got a couple of, we're gonna start just kind of cleaning things up. I'm gonna go ahead and finish that guy because he makes me nervous. And then after that, we're just gonna kind of float over it, you know, rough his little head off there. And then we're gonna take a 3/8, do another roughing up. Then we're gonna tip him up, kind of get in there and finish that. Then we're gonna finish that with a 5-axis or a 4-axis rotary. And then we're going to tip him up just a little here where it hopefully doesn't go into the tool carousel. And then we're going to kind of tip him up here, you know, just kind of going through. Then we're going to do our final finish here, a real fine step over, you know, just a few thousandths, 4 or 5 thousandths. Then we're going to do some penciling down here to kind of put that, make sure we got some of that detail. We're not missing any of that. And then we're going to kind of clean up behind an area we couldn't get to before. And that means we kind of got to tilt him, put him in an odd angle. And then we're going to clean up his brow a little bit. And that again, he'll be kind of kicked up on an angle like this so I can get that undercut. So what we're worried about now is making sure we put this stupid block in this machine in the right orientation. So we were just standing at the machine and we kind of saw that triad going like that, right? And here he is. This is how he needs to sit in there. So what can we think of so we make sure we put these blocks in at the right place every time? So he's got a little bit bigger overhang there. So, you know, here's the block. And he's got the same kind of big overhang on one side. So this will be in the back. No, this will be in the back right here. All right. So that'll be in the back. And then we'll put it in there and start roughing the mist. Post-processing this thing is going to be a serious thing, right? Because if he stands up, right, let's say you got this guy in here, he's roughing, you know, he's doing this parallel thing, and then for some reason he thinks it's a good idea to do that. Well, everything breaks. Everything breaks. All the tools broke. carousel's broken, everything's broke. So I got to make sure when I go through this program, when I post it out, that all the A's are either positive or negative. And if I got one that's positive and one that's negative, I know I got a problem, right? So here we go. Post-process this thing. It's going to be a minute. Okay. Now, here's a couple of things. Every time I see this command right here, command copy, I've got to, let's see, replace. I'm going to replace that with 4.5 because that's as high as that Z-axis will go for a tool change. Now I want to replace everything. So every time he's going to Z0, he's just going to go up. You know, safety first. Anytime I see an A0, that means I just wrecked the machine, right? So we're literally just going to take him and delete him. This also right here, we can't have that because if he does that, he's going to take that trunnion and stick it through the door. So we can't have that. Now, you got to go up to the top. Okay, so he's going to A90 here and B90. That's fine. That means he's laying down. It is positive. So what I want to do is look for all of these A's. I'm going to do like a little copy. I copy and pasted A. I wasn't even going to type that. Fine. So what we're really looking for is an A negative, right? No results. That means he won't wreck, right? Okay, I got the whole program on this USB drive, and it's heavier now. But you can see, you know, old school, right? Plug that baby in here. Look for that program. Okay, he's gonna be thinking about that for a minute. I know what you're thinking. There's no way it's gonna work. I just had to clean my contacts on the 5-axis, you know, so you think it's gonna stop in the middle, you know. But this is gonna work. This is gonna work. Okay, so here's the chunk. This is also, he's gonna orient and cut this side first. That's how we know we're right and not wrong. Always lift with your back. Okay, so, you know, we'll see how close we get. A mic back on. Okay, so hand jog A, 10 thousandths per. Okay, A hand jog. Piece of cake. It's a piece of cake. We got this. Okay, now I've got to have something in my brain that says what just happened on the cam system is what's going to happen here. So what has to happen is he's going to straighten up and then he's going to rotate the B axis like this and start roughing on the back side. If he does something different, you know, I got to pump the brakes. I'm going to put the, he should be able to change over the, you know, that's what, he can change, he can do that. Got a little farting sound. Got a little farting sound there. Okay, so that's good, right? Okay. Well, that's good. It's a close call. Yeah, let me grab you. So hey, you made it to the end of this video, either with patience or with a little bit of scrubbing and skipping ahead through the boring parts, which, you know, I can't blame you. I scrub through these videos too. But anyway, we made these trophies. We got all 3 of them done. They came out really good. We ended up adding a little bit of text there on the bottom. Used a 30 thousandths ball mill to kind of finish that all up so it all stood out properly. The rotary toolpath helped us out by keeping all the blends. We didn't have to worry about all the blending and everything and go back and check. The toolpath just looks great. You can barely see any toolpath. I like to see a little toolpath, but people don't. You know, they're not machinists like we are, and so they don't appreciate. When I see toolpath, I see money, you know, because I know what it costs to get it done. So I don't understand that. But anyway, we got these done. If you were wondering what he is, he's actually a 1920s race car driver, right? So he's got his goggles up, but his scarf is still, so maybe victory lap or something, I don't know. And then, you know, he's got this leather helmet. Better than nothing, but back then, not much better than nothing, but better than nothing. Barely better than not wearing anything at all. You know, maybe like wearing 2 baseball caps. But that's how they did it back then, pretty hardcore. So if you're ever in Chattanooga, definitely want to check out the Chattanooga Motor Car Festival. It's a big deal around here. A lot of people go, a lot of interesting cars to see. If you like this video, then definitely comment and let us know what you'd like to see in another video, maybe some more scanning or some more multi-axis machining or some harder parts. We've definitely made some hard parts. We've done things for NASA. We've done things for you know, particle accelerators, very, very tight tolerance. This machine might be a little slow, but we hold under 1,000ths all the time. It's not fun, but we do it because we have to. It's job shop. Anyway, comment down below. We appreciate you watching this video. We'll catch you next time.